There you go. Welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate 2, where I have done some looting. We didn't get much. Give me a moment. Let me go ahead. I was doing some alchemy, but we did. The only thing really of note we got is this thing. During combat, when the wearer starts their turn with 50% hit points or less, they gain Wrath for 2 turns. Now, what
Nice.
she currently has is Momentum for 3 turns, the Haste Helm.
Mm,
So I like her being able to be faster because
I agree.
momentum is an increased 1.5 meters for the first 3 turns. This is nice. This is going to be every fight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a nice helm. That's really the only thing of significant I found. Uh,
Can't give up now.
and then I started doing alchemy to go through some of the stuff. No, we don't want illithid powers. You might want illithid powers. Extract. And I've unlocked new recipes by doing this,
Excellent.
including an elixir of greater arcane cultivation, which elixir of the Colossus. Interesting. Extract all. Okay, I think that was for. Okay, potions. We can do. We can create two healing potions. I think that's a good idea. Potion of Featherfall. Sure. Okay, so we can do this, but we're missing one of the ingredients.
Mm.
Uh, Peerless Focus. I think that is for increased concentration and fire resistance. We have the makings of an elixir of the Colossus. That'll be fun. We need a suspension, but we're missing that ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, coatings. I can make drow poison and basic poison now.
Cool.
So there we go. And I can make a Hearthlight bomb, which I don't know what that does, but it sounds nice. Essence of Nightlight and a suspension that we don't know yet. And I can make Alchemist Fire if I have the ingredients. Um, I mean, I could make these coatings or these elixirs, but I think I'll save in case we need those ingredients for something else.
Mm.
I am going to pull you up.
I've got a long road ahead.
Oh, while we've been sitting
Won't be
here,
the easy path.
the husbands are talking sweet at each other.
Yay.
There we go. Uh,
At least, at least safe. Praise Iron Hand. If only there were more blessings to count.
okay, so not much there. Is that a plaque? That is not a plaque. Oh, there was another thing I saw that you might be interested in when I was over here. This mage had nothing really of
Seems simple
interest.
enough.
Seluna did call forth the moon and the stars. Shah cloaked them in shadow to cover our scars.
See, that's nuance. It just that's potential nuance that they just go nowhere with. But I like it.
Potential nuance, yes. There is a bit of like the more toxic part of Shah's worship is that you don't deal with the trauma, you bury it.
Ah,
So, which it's not a good way of dealing with trauma. Trauma and things like that is like go to
What's
therapy.
inside?
Yeah.
Um, but Shah as a goddess is mired by her like her divine trauma of
Her sister's betrayal, by in her perspective anyway.
well, like please note this is a divine sister slash lover slash other half,
Literal.
like literal other half thing. So like Salune giving her power away
Mm-hmm.
from a deific perspective is quite betrayal because it disturbed the balance between them. And Shah found herself as the more potent member of the relationship.
Mm.
Um, and that imbalance, like whenever there is an imbalance like that, it's the rule of entropy. The way in a closed system, the system attempts to go to move towards equilibrium. That's what entropy is.
Right.
So Shah is just is just addressing a cosmic imbalance, and Salune put her in that position, um, possibly
Got it.
without her consent.
Oof.
Um, I mean, we don't know about whether she consented or not, but in any case, really hecked up thing to do in that sort of like it's
Mm-hmm.
not a normal relationship like between sisters or anything like that. The mortal perspective on that is too limited for you to like,
Really understand what's going on.
yeah. Um, and I think that's why, like, when mortals encounter Shah's worship, most of them don't get what's actually going on because the other part of it is that Shah's church has gone after people who are traumatized. And like if you get a group of people who are traumatized and you know um and they're not all and when you're not dealing with it in healthy manners, then stuff like the Church of Shah happens. It's toxic. It's a
Mm-hmm.
toxic relationship. um
On a mechanics note, I just noticed a thing. The way they're incorporating Song of Rest is an extra short rest.
oh, cool.
We have three
Okay,
short rests between us that we could have
right.
been using.
Yeah, we need to use those more. Particularly, I think my bardic inspirations recharge on short
I
rests.
think you're up to that level now. Let me double check. Um,
It should be bardic inspiration, the ability. You can probably mouse over it.
it's Font of Inspiration. Font of Inspiration. Here it is. Yep.
Long or short rest.
Cool. It is. It isn't a first level thing, but it is a very low level thing. Okay.
Yes.
Um. Any. Yeah, but yeah, it is definitely a thing. Also, I really. This is one of the reasons why I don't do the you lose your power. I can understand it that like clerics lose their power when they uh, anger the god or paladins or whatever. But I really like the idea that the gods are teaching you how to address, get into the divine font, as the game calls it or whatever, and that knowledge is just yours at that point. Because then you can have heretics that still have their powers, and it makes for an interesting story.
I agree. I think that is the interesting thing is like you could uncouple where the power comes from the deity. Like, if it is your belief that that gives you the ability to use cleric divine magic,
Mm-hmm.
you're not necessarily asking for a favor.
Mm.
You could be accessing a pool of magic that's caused by mortal belief
Right.
that's just inherent in things, and that's another way to do it. It's
It,
a very interesting lore detail thing that you can, hang like campaign stuff off of, but
yeah. Eberron does it that way.
yes,
Like there is a church to a still living mortal 12th level Warrior Forged fighter. And the
yep,
clerics of that church have spells.
yes. um a lot of uh D&D has allowed you to believe in a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't really addressed what that means, because they still want clerics to have to follow the beliefs of their their deity's tenets.
Mm.
Because that's also good, like, storytelling stuff.
Mm. I definitely agree with that. I do kind of wish there was like I mean, there was a little bit more mechanical nuance to that, so you could have a little bit of both powers. You know,
I I agree.
both
I
storylines. I mean,
Yeah, I think that Pathfinder Second Edition is doing that very well now, with getting rid of alignment and having tenets.
mm,
Um, has a lot of great knock-on effects, like, you still have a code that you have to adhere to if you want the god's favor,
yeah,
but it's not going to mess you up if you, like, it's not going to completely mess you up if you are a heretic.
mm,
Also, canonically, there are heretics. There are heretics of, or rather, previously, there are heretics of the what of Nocticula, who's now the Redeemer Queen, who, like, the Nocticula changed her purview completely from being an evil goddess to a goddess of, like, outcasts and being good.
yeah,
Um, and then, like, there's also Lamashtu, the mother of monsters in that setting, has heretics, like, because usually the mother of monsters is all about creating monsters
yeah,
and being horrible to people and everything. But there's a heretical branch that's good, that views, like, looking after the quote unquote monsters as what Lamashtu really wants. And that interests me a lot.
yeah. I
Um,
I think getting rid of alignment even before you add in tenets, the tenets is the seals the deal. Getting
yeah.
rid of alignment does. Excuse me a moment. I kicked my charge cable and everything freaked out. Anyway, getting rid of alignment does a lot for adding nuance
I agree.
to the gods.
Yeah, 100% agreed. We're playing Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment. Should
Yeah,
we do that, or should we talk generally about, like,
let's get. I mean, we could. I mean, because I would also like comment. I'm fine with just having a discussion thing here. I think we're wrapping this up. The only thing we'll end up talking to these, and there won't be much. We did what we came here for. There are a couple of side quests, and we still have those mimics to go deal with. I think there's something to find in there, but I don't want to get into there just yet.
mm-hmm.
But also, it's like I am kind of curious what they're going to do when they make Greyhawk the flagship campaign in the next edition, which they've said they're going to do, you know?
Yes.
Because it
So,
is. Let me go state my concern. Greyhawk is a very different metaphysical, cosmological structure than Faerun. The whole thing about gods needing worship in Faerun is explicitly a punishment to the Faerunian gods that isn't in other D&D gods.
mm,
The Faerun gods have more historically appeared and manifested on the world and actually talked to their followers as characters.
yes.
Greyhawk gods mostly stay out of the just are vague entities above things. It feels wrong to me when they make Faerunian gods no longer show up because that was one of the things that it stood out from the other campaigns. But WotC has this bad habit of just trying to make all their settings into the same. And I'm concerned what's going to happen with Greyhawk.
So, my take on it is paradoxically a little more positive than yours. Because I think that when they made the default um, setting for 5th edition Forgotten Realms, they made a mistake uh, for what the designers and what they wanted to do with it. Because if you look at the adventures that they then published, it's a low magic. Like there is hardly any loot.
Right.
Um,
And a lot of the adventures they published, not all of them, but a lot of them are originally Greyhawk adventures.
yes. Uh, in fact, they were like gung ho about moving. Particularly at the start, they were gung ho about moving a lot of things from Greyhawk to the Forgotten Realms, like the Princes of Elemental Evil, um, and Thurasden, and that's okay. Um, I also think that they thought that Forgotten Realms was the more popular setting. Um, and there was also probably like a copyright thing because Gary Gygax wasn't dead yet. Maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, Greyhawk. I mean, I know Ed Greenwood has a very firm grip on Forgotten Realms, or Toril in
And
general.
he has a firm like he had so Watsy owns Forgotten Realms, but Ed Greenwood owns the hearts and minds of the player base. So they can't screw him over like as much as they may or may not like to. I don't think they see screwing him over as a good plan. Um, However, they do own all of that. He does not,
I think there's some.
because
Go on.
you go.
I think there's something in his contract that he has a lot of creative control, even with them owning it.
Oh, very, very likely, and that's good and smart of him. But honestly, even if he didn't have that, they'd be crazy to get rid of him. That being said, they're crazy because they keep firing all of their experienced design staff.
Yeah, which is why our talking about the next edition is very kind of theoretical, because I
So,
don't feel
um,
our group's going there next, and I know my brother's not going there next.
so I'm just putting it out there. I am not keen to play 5th edition or um, or D and done um, anymore.
I had not heard that one.
Yeah, they've made a mistake. Um,
Dean Dunn. Yeah, oh my god. I had not heard that
They,
particular one.
I mean, it it's the X Bone all over again. But anyway, um, the what's the name? Yeah, they released the Ranger recently,
Uh huh.
and it is the most lackluster design. But like, I know why it's the most lackluster design. It's because they fired everybody. There's nobody to do more design. I could write a better Ranger class in a day than what they've brought out. Um, and I don't think that what I do would be overpowered. It would probably need testing with a whole bunch of things. Like I would just what they've done is that they've given Hunter's Mark as a spell, and then Warlock like they upgrade the spell as you gain levels, but not by enough to make to a 20 like the whole 20 levels worthwhile.
Yeah, I noticed that they were going in that we're going to make character classes, we're going to make class features into spells, limited to
And
that class specifically. And it's like, okay, interesting. And then I see how they implement it, and it's like, uh?
it's not a good idea. Like a spell should be much more general than what a class feature is. Class features should be awesome, and they should be limited to if you have that class. So they shouldn't be spells because spells are shared across multiple classes.
I
Um,
agree. And their thing of deciding these class features are spells, but we're not putting them on any of the shared lists. They're only on the list for this class. Breaks the system so badly. Sorry.
I agree. Um, I feel the same way. Please note, I feel the same way about Eldritch Blast. I think Eldritch Blast was great before it was a spell.
Back in third edition where it was a feature. Yeah, I kind
Yeah.
of I really liked the flexibility with third edition Warlock, where you get the shape invocations and the blast and the energy
Oh,
invocations, and you could form your own inherent version of Eldritch Blast.
yes, I agree. I personally also think you should have been able to either go for having more damage on your Eldritch Blast or more attacks, or a bit of both. Um, because the original Warlock had like you increase the damage die of your Eldritch Blast, but you only got one attack.
Right, right. Where
Now that has its inherent flaws as well. Sorry, you go.
they also what they did is they you could increase the die with some invocations, and you got an increased number of dice, like the way
Yes,
Firebolt and other cantrips work now.
yes. Um, yes. So, um, but it was like it was Eldritch Blast used to be like what's it called? Rogue sneak attack progression.
And you could do a melee blast build, melee build too. And it was like I played a little bit of that and film put it on for the Neverwinter Nights too, and it's like had people yelling at me, "Why are you stop doing melee? You're a warlock."
Yeah, no, no, like okay,
Yeah,
yeah, people need to. There is like, particularly for Warlock. Warlock gets armor.
yeah,
You know like if a class gets armor, that means that you're. It's an indication that you're not always supposed to be blasting from the back.
right.
Um, that aside, um, how are we doing for time?
We're coming up to 24 minutes, so we should probably wrap this up. I think this is a good
Do,
ending point for this session.
yeah. Do we want to actually just start doing rules commentary? things where we can get all this stuff out?
I think that might be a good idea. We'll pick something to run in the background that's very low impact or
Yeah,
something. Or like maybe just like put I could just pull up Spirit City, which isn't a which is a gamified habit list, and
yeah,
just put it up and just that, and we won't have to interact with anything.
yeah, yeah. Cookie clicker, something to
Yeah.
work about.
Yep. Anyway,
But yeah, I think us having these discussions is good. But we've just got to, yeah.
yeah, we both do like game design hobby or profession. So
Yes.
anyway,
I'm the hobbyist. Threat is the profession.
vaguely.
Threat, threat.
I That's not out yet. I can't publicly do
No, 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 no. But you have one book out.
True. That's true. I have divine blood. Oh god.
Yes, you have Divine Blood.
Yeah.
The other one's not out yet.
What do you call it? The one that is not a public thing
Yeah.
is still going through layout and art.
Right.
So,
Any
yeah.
Anyhow, there is an upcoming book which your name will be in the credits. You are a professional.
Yeah. Okay. Admit fair. You're right.
Okay. So, now that I've established that Thrift needs to be more proud of themselves, have a good day, everyone.
Talk to you later.